emotional intelligence, as we told you before we went on that short break. What does that mean? Living with emotional intelligence is a lifestyle that involves a lot of things, including understanding and managing your emotions while emphasizing with others and empathizing with others. It's about being aware of your emotional state and using that awareness to guide your thoughts and your actions. Actions, very important word there. By developing emotional intelligence, you can improve your relationships, decision-making skills, and overall well-being. And you can actually control your destiny, if you ask me. And joining us on the program to talk about why this is important is our guest this morning, Kuro Ngobo. Is a training and business development consultant. I was quizzing him about that name. It's a very big name, please. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thank you very much.
Right, so it's this emotional intelligence has, made or marred a lot of people. When to keep quiet, when you should read the room, when you maybe there are conversations going on, when to speak, when not to speak. Even the Bible tells us, don't be quick to anger. Hold your tongue. That's emotional intelligence. Yes. You need to know when to do these things. So how can one develop self-awareness, concerning this issue of emotional intelligence? How do you just know when or not when to do things?
Okay, so first of all, emotional intelligence is not just about you. It's you and other people. So it's managing your own, influencing other people's. How do you develop self-awareness is a very important question, because there are 5 components of emotional intelligence. If you don't have them, you can't claim to be emotional intelligence. Self-awareness is one, knowing yourself, knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, your limits, what triggers you. Sometimes you take offense when there's no offense. Those are things that are about you as a person. So there's self-awareness, there's self-regulation, there's that's like self-control, there's self-motivation, then there's empathy, being able to read other people, and social skills. Number 1 is self-awareness. How do you develop it? Is you start by being more mindful. That's the way to put it. So begin to pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to what triggers even physical responses in you. Some people don't know their allergies. For instance, some people don't know what triggers a cough in them. They don't know the kind of environment that triggers their anger quickly, the kind of things that they don't feel comfortable around. So it's just be mindful, generally.
It's a very concerning subject we're talking about here.
It is.
Because the reason we felt it needed to be discussed is that there's been a lot of suicide. Suicide is a reaction.
Yes.
Economic realities is a trigger in a way.
True.
Why does it trigger people? Is it a subject of self-awareness? Why does the fact that there is a price increase trigger someone? Why does the fact that Nupeng and Dangote is fighting, for instance, why do such things trigger people?
So I think it still starts with self-awareness. It's knowing you. I also talk about finances a lot. And one of the lessons I learned that makes emotional intelligence very relevant to finances is what you tell yourself. Things like how much does how people see you or what they think about you matter to you? It's a big deal in Nigeria.
So all those likes and whatever.
Very important in today's world. I stopped buying Ashwebi 15, 16 years ago. Not because I don't like the people whose parties I'm going to, but why? I'm really not your Ebi, if we think about it. And I will come from your part for your party. I could even give you money to say thank, but why do I have to buy Ashwebi? I know there's some kind of spirit around it, by the way. Just as an example, when you buy this Ashwebi, this uniform we all wear, don't you notice that to wear it somewhere else becomes a little difficult? Have you noticed that? So I now have a stack of them that I've sold.
You have to buy it first now.
Then afterwards, you can't wear it again.
I don't even remember.
And people would even borrow and do all sorts of things to do that. So there's pressure. That's just one example. There's pressure that we put on ourselves because we don't know ourselves enough or we don't have our own values clearly. That then makes how people see us become important. Then at some point, they say this watch is not befitting of you. This car is not the kind of car you should drive. Then you take a loan to buy the right car. Then you can't manage the car. Then you starts with the mind, then it goes on. So let me lead you to suicide very quickly. Depression is not a feeling, it's a mood. You have to feel bad about something, feel disappointed, feel cheated, feel betrayed, and hold on to that negative feeling long enough for it to become depression, right? Now, when it gets to the point of depression, it then leads people, because we need to be clear about something. The way you think and the way you feel determines what you do. So people...
Say that again.
The way you think and the way you feel determines what you do. In fact, your attitude is the way you think and feel about people or things. So your attitude, that thinking and feeling, determines what you do. Case in point, 3 people are sacked from the same place of work. Mr. A gets a new job. Mr. B starts a business. Mr. C commits suicide. What's the difference in the 3 of them? They all got sacked.
Disposition.
Thank you. So that's why I like this Charles Swinton quote, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it.
Yeah. Now, take the, you talked about self-awareness.
Yes.
That's a long journey. Here is why.
True.
Trauma is a function of emotional intelligence or a lack of it. Help us understand that better. Help us understand, because sometimes you talked about the fact that people don't even know themselves. So sometimes you don't even know that you are traumatized.
I agree.
Like many parents who are traumatizing their own children
every day.
I don't think it's like that.
You are not the guest, too.
Okay, so I think I took a hard stance with regards to trauma and how people deal with it before I faced trauma. Guess what my trauma was? I usually pick people up when I'm driving around Lagos because I feel, oh, I can help, it's an empty car. Then they stole my laptop. I am traumatized. I confess.
I could hear my director say, ha.
Now I don't pick anybody up. So guess what? Trauma is something bad happens and your response to it. So I know that incident has left me traumatized. So if somebody I don't know is in my car, I feel like something's going to get missing. I had to first of all acknowledge that there was trauma. Something happened, the consequence was bad and hard-hitting.
To be clear, you are not in denial.
No. First of all, you have to accept the fact that this thing happened, there was a negative consequence, and it hit you hard. My work is largely on a laptop. You can imagine what I lost with that laptop. So after you understand that, you have to then, apart from being self-aware about it, you have to then ask real logical questions like, did you do something wrong for this to happen? Was it your fault? So should you blame yourself? Or should you tell yourself, this happened, maybe I made a mistake? Even if you did, I could have put my stuff in the booth of the car, not in the back seat. So I acknowledge that. I agree that that is part of what led to it. If not, I wouldn't have my laptop stolen. So you first of all need to be aware that there's something that happened, the consequence is hard-hitting, and then there's some kind of trauma. This is a simple example. There are worse ones. Rape, somebody died, an accident occurred, but the same scenario plays out. Acknowledge it first, understand what it did to you, and then get to the point of saying, this experience happened in the past.
Let me give an example that I know Jokem might want to punch me for, so let me just...
Move it. I'll move to. Okay. So I don't get any spills.
Someone falls in love with the wrong person, and the person decides all men or all women are scum, and consequently will never get married again or will never fall in love again. Is that also the kind of thing we're talking about?
This is a catch-22 question. Anywhere I go, I'm going to be in trouble. Please take notes. Okay, so what should happen, similar to what I said, is to come to the point where you can sit with yourself and say, I acknowledge that the consequence was hard-hitting. It has affected me in a particular way, and I don't want this to happen again. But then you must ask a few more logical questions. Did you do something in that space? Because, you know, we judge people by what they do, but we judge ourselves by our intentions. I intended to help you carry your crate of eggs, so you should be happy. But the eggs broke. To you, I broke your eggs. To me, I intended to help you carry your eggs. And this happens all the time. Could happen in relationships too. So if somebody went through that kind of trauma, what the person should do is to first of all acknowledge that this consequence was bad. I don't want to feel it again. But the person should go and rebuild self. The truth is you can't control other people. and what they do. What you can is deal with you, handle you, and then over time, you become a better person. So I don't think it should mean, if people did that with love, then it would mean something like if I get fired on the job unceremoniously, I should never get a job. But you must eat. So do you want companionship in life later on?
Maybe
those are things you
would
do.
Go for Hilda Basi jollof rice.
I would say that right, by the way. And that could be something to do. But I think at some point, logic, the summary of all of this is acknowledge what happened, know yourself, and then please bring logic into it. What happens most times is we focus on the feeling that the experience triggered, and we keep romancing the feeling, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Dealing with trauma is not an easy thing.
No, it's not.
Because
it's not.
You've had one trauma in an aspect of life, for whatever reason you dealt with it in your own way, and then another one comes, and then you quote-unquote dealt with it, and this dealing with it we're talking about is, thank you, stuffing it.
Yes.
Stuffing the... that carpet.
Yes,
stuffing it, stuffing it, until you can't take it anymore.
And to dump this in too, you know, some people don't even know that they're experiencing any trauma.
Which is why I said be aware of it and acknowledge it is the first part. You know, they say if you understand the problem, half of it is solved. So the first thing is to say, this is why this happened. I'm giving smaller examples. So one day I was traveling from Kano to Lagos. I'll be quick about this. I was 12. I had very little money on the train, so I asked somebody selling boiled eggs to sell me an egg, and she sold me 3 eggs. That was my last money. We left. I opened all the eggs. They were all spoiled.
I wanted to say
I would not buy eggs on the road anymore. Because I wouldn't know which boiled egg is spoiled, which one is not. For a long time. You may not call it trauma. For a 12-year-old, it was. So one day, my daughter likes quail eggs. And they sell them on the road. So I first don't buy it for her for a while. Then one day I say, well, it's not you eating the egg. Buy it. If it's spoiled, it's a problem. Then she offers me the egg and I eat the egg and it's okay. So over time I ask myself, Kuro, will that one incident determine the rest of the 11, how many billion of us? How many are we now? All the people on earth will be defined by one problem.
More than 8 billion.
More than 8 billion. It can't be. That experience cannot determine what will happen to you every day. So I would eat an egg in a restaurant that they've peeled and put on the food, not one in a shell. Now, I could buy egg in traffic. I could. And tell myself, it could be good, it could be bad, but I will not judge everything by that. Now, please don't get me wrong. It doesn't make it easy. But it needs, I think the summary of it is this, it needs a lot of your self-determination to deal with it. And deal with it is not sweeping under the carpet. It's saying things like, could I change, or we look at the way this thing dealt with me in a different way. Like one person sold me bad eggs. Maybe she didn't even know the eggs were bad. How would she know? Having them for 3 days boiled doesn't mean that the eggs will be bad. Maybe she knew and she actually tried to hoodwink me. Would everybody selling eggs want to hoodwink me? Should I stop eating eggs because of that? Or have to boil them myself?
Okay.
So there's some serious self-appraisal to be done.
We'll call this part 1, but there's this one last question.
Okay.
Some people are traumatized by an occurrence and have stigmatized certain individuals through which it happened to them. So they are not forgiving
of anyone else who fits that profile.
Of that person, and anyone else that looks like it. It doesn't fit the way.
Just looks
minutely, faintly, the shadow.
True. Here's my tip for them. Ask yourself as a person and be real. Have you done something negative to someone before? Honestly, have you done something that the outcome, whether your intention was negative or not, was the outcome for someone else negative or not? Like I helped you carry your eggs and they broke. Do you think that that person should judge you and anybody that looks faintly, remotely like you based on that one incident? Just be honest with yourself.
Someone is answering you now. That's different.
Oh, the eggs. but honestly, that's the truth. We judge people by what they do. We judge ourselves by our intentions. It's a real thing. It's not going to be easy to merge both to get to the point where I'm listening enough or asking questions enough to know your intention. If I did, maybe I'll understand a little bit. But let's just flip roles. You be the person who did something wrong. Would you expect, do you intend to keep doing that? Do you expect everybody to judge you based on that for the rest of your days? If you are honest about that answer, maybe you can come back and look at it. And there are many of us. In a family of 3 children, you can have 3 completely different human beings. Like all your fingers are different. Why do you expect logically that will all be the same? Same way we do stereotypes. All the Jaws are militants, all Jebus are stingy, Ekiti people are stubborn. I think that's what I heard. All Fulanis are militants. So I ask one question. How many of the people in those groupings have you met in your entire life that gives you the right to say anybody that fits this profile must exhibit these characteristics?
They read them in newspaper.
Once in a while. And maybe 2% of the population. That's why in Rwanda they say now you cannot say I am Tutsi or Hutu anymore. You are simply Rwandi.
Okay, well, as I said, that's part 1. Because you are already leaning towards empathy, which is not appeared in our conversation today.
Yeah.
But thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
What's the name again? You called the name. You've forgotten. Kuro.
Kuro. In Yoruba, it means the word will translate to Kuro. Which means you have to go. Your time is up.
It's a training and business development.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.